We begin tonight with a first for our region, a so-called Narco sub found floating on Australia's doorstep. These boats are usually used to transport huge amounts of drugs from countries like Colombia. So what was this one doing just off the Solomon Islands?
Hidden deep beneath the ocean's surface, a shadowy fleet moves drugs worth millions, undetected, unstoppable, and evolving faster than ever. These are Narco submarines, ingenious vessels built in secret jungles, designed to slip past the world's toughest patrols. What makes these underwater smugglers so hard to catch?
Cramped and claustrophobic in here. For food, they had energy bars, cans of sardines. The toilet was a bag in the corner, and that was it. They had nothing else. Oh, apart from 3 tons of cocaine in the front, worth more than £100 million.
How do they push the limits of technology to outsmart authorities? Narco submarines are specialized marine vessels built to transport illegal drugs, primarily cocaine, from South America to markets in the United States and sometimes even Europe. Over the past decade, authorities have intercepted more than 200 of these vessels. However, it is widely believed that many more remain undetected and continue to operate in the vast oceanic routes. Today, we will explore the early and most basic models of these submarines, how they function, and the ongoing efforts by law enforcement to stop them. These submarines, often referred to as narco subs, are designed with stealth in mind. Their main purpose is to avoid detection by radar and patrol aircraft while transporting large quantities of drugs across thousands of miles of open water. The construction and operation of these vessels are highly specialized, blending ingenuity with practicality to achieve a low profile and maximize the chance of success. In the early days, these narco subs were relatively simple and only capable of short trips, mostly moving drugs from one coastal point to another along South America's shores. Over time, the construction of these submarines became more professionalized, and a covert industry began to thrive deep in the jungles and remote river areas. These hidden shipyards are far from conventional facilities, often tucked away in dense forest regions where authorities have limited access. One key figure in this story is Oscar Moreno Ricardo, a Colombian who became widely known as the king of semi-submersibles. Operating deep in Colombia's jungle along a remote river, Ricardo ran a clandestine shipyard where he and his team built submarines capable of long ocean voyages, carrying tons of cocaine over great distances. The work carried out in these hidden locations is meticulous and technically demanding, with designs evolving to meet the growing challenges of smuggling drugs past increasingly vigilant law enforcement. Understanding these vessels requires expertise, and that's where specialists like Sutton come in. Sutton has dedicated more than 15 years to studying narco submarines. His work involves analyzing every known incident involving these vessels, tracking design trends, and uncovering their operational secrets. According to Sutton, these subs represent a unique form of unconventional naval warfare, engineered to be effective with limited resources, yet sophisticated enough to carry extremely valuable cargo undetected. The first model we will examine is a typical low-profile narco submarine, which began to appear in the late 2000s and continues to be found today. This vessel is about 14 meters long and, strictly speaking, is not a true submarine. Instead, it is classified as a low-profile vessel. Its design allows the top of the submarine to remain just above the waterline, blending into the ocean surface with a color that matches the sea. This makes it particularly difficult for radar systems to detect, as the low height limits the vessel's radar cross-section. Inside, the submarine is divided into 3 main compartments. The middle section serves as the crew area. This space is sparse and cramped, with bunks tightly packed together. There is a single hatch above for entry and exit. The rear compartment houses the diesel engine, which generates a low but steady hum as it powers the submarine forward at approximately 16 kilometers per hour. This engine is positioned behind the crew area, allowing for repairs during the journey if needed. At the front of the submarine lies the cargo hold, filled with tightly packed bales of cocaine. In one example, the hold contained 7.7 tons of cocaine. The combined weight of the drugs, fuel, and engine helps keep the submarine low in the water, aiding its stealth. If this vessel successfully reaches its destination, the cargo could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars on the streets. One interception incident highlights the challenges law enforcement faces in combating narco subs. A Marine patrol aircraft detected a low-profile narco submarine while it was en route to Central America. Upon spotting the vessel, the aircraft immediately alerted the United States Coast Guard. Two small boats and a helicopter quickly responded, racing to intercept the submarine in international waters. Once close enough, Coast Guard officers boarded the vessel and detained the 5 crew members, seizing the cocaine valued at over $200 million. The capture could have been compromised if the crew had activated the scuttling valve, a mechanism designed as a last resort to flood the submarine and send it to the ocean floor, destroying evidence and cargo. Thanks to the decisive response of law enforcement, the evidence was preserved, and the crew was taken into custody. The journey of this particular crew was relatively short compared to other narco submarines. Some vessels travel thousands of miles across open oceans, navigating dangerous waters and evading detection for extended periods. Despite their illegal purpose, the engineering behind these submarines is undeniably remarkable. They are carefully designed to be as functional as possible with limited resources and materials, achieving a balance between simplicity, stealth, and cargo capacity. For those interested in the technical aspects of submarines or naval engineering, learning about these narco vessels offers valuable insight into practical applications of physics, fluid dynamics, and mechanical engineering. Understanding the principles behind buoyancy, propulsion, and stealth technology can be fascinating, even when applied to illicit activities. The production of narco submarines reflects a highly adaptive and innovative criminal industry. Initially, these vessels were crude and suitable only for short trips close to shore. Over time, as law enforcement improved detection methods, the designs evolved to include more sophisticated features to increase range, speed, and stealth capabilities. The rise of these submarines represents a game of cat and mouse between drug cartels and authorities. Each side continually adapts to the other's tactics. Cartels invest in new designs and technologies to stay ahead, while law enforcement agencies develop better detection methods, including patrol aircraft, satellite monitoring, and coordinated maritime interdiction efforts. The story of narco submarines is not just about illegal smuggling, but also about the intersection of engineering, innovation, and enforcement. It shows how a hidden industry can grow in remote, challenging environments, supported by skilled builders who apply their technical knowledge under difficult conditions. In a different region of the Amazon rainforest, a more advanced narco submarine prepares to embark on a much longer and more challenging journey. Departing near Manaus, Brazil, this vessel is known by its nickname, CH. At over 20 meters in length, it is significantly larger and more modern than the basic low-profile subs we discussed earlier. The crew consists of 3 men, including Auguste Alvarez, a former Spanish boxer who serves as the vessel's captain, along with 2 Ecuadorian men. Unlike earlier models designed primarily for short coastal runs, this semi-submersible is built to cross the Atlantic Ocean. Its journey is planned to span roughly 6,000 kilometers, from the heart of the Brazilian rainforest all the way to Europe. They rely on minimal navigation tools, no GPS, only a compass to guide them through the vast and often treacherous ocean. This voyage is expected to take about 2 weeks if all conditions remain favorable. The design of CH reflects both advancements in narco submarine technology and the growing ambition of drug trafficking organizations to reach distant markets. Like the smaller models, CH is divided into 3 main compartments: the engine at the back, the crew quarters in the middle, and the cargo hold at the front. However, nearly half of the vessel's volume is dedicated to fuel storage, with 3 massive tanks holding a total of 20,000 liters. This large fuel capacity is essential to sustain the long crossing without refueling stops, as the crew navigates across open waters where resupply is impossible. Life aboard the vessel is harsh and unforgiving. The crew has no proper beds, and plastic bags serve as toilets in the cramped conditions. For food, their choices are limited to energy bars, rice, or canned sardines. Only one proper seat is available, meaning that 2 men must lie down at any given time during the voyage. They endure not only these uncomfortable conditions, but also the dangers posed by severe storms and encounters with other vessels. During their journey, they faced 3 major storms and narrowly avoided collision with a larger ship. After 27 days at sea, nearly twice the expected travel time, the sub runs out of fuel. This delay is due in part to adverse weather conditions and the challenges of navigating without modern equipment. Unfortunately, the mission cannot be completed as planned. The crew attempts to transfer the cargo to waiting cartel boats, but these rendezvous fail twice. As a last resort, Captain Alvarez contacts an old friend in his hometown, hoping for assistance to unload the cocaine. However, this too proves unsuccessful. With no other options, the crew heads towards the coast of Galicia in Spain, where they sink the vessel to avoid capture. The intention is to dispose of the submarine and its illicit cargo, preventing evidence from falling into the hands of law enforcement. However, authorities have already been tracking their movements. The European Union's Maritime Analysis and Operations Center, responsible for monitoring suspicious activities at sea, had detected the vessel and notified Spanish authorities. Using night vision goggles, Spanish officials followed the submarine's arrival at the coast. 2 of the Ecuadorian crew members were arrested shortly after the vessel was sunk, while Captain Alvarez managed to evade capture initially by hiding in an abandoned house for 5 days. Eventually, the Spanish police apprehended him. The sunken submarine was recovered from the ocean floor, and inside the cargo hold, they found 3 tons of cocaine valued at approximately $100 million. This incident illustrates the high stakes and significant risks involved in operating these semi-submersibles. For the drug cartels, every successful voyage results in enormous profits, but each failure can lead to heavy financial losses and arrests. This constant pressure drives innovation in submarine design, pushing builders to create vessels capable of longer ranges, higher speeds, and greater stealth. Following this example, let's now examine a more sophisticated type of Narco submarine often referred to as a snorkel sub. At first glance, these submarines resemble real military submarines. They have a typical cylindrical shape and are around 24 meters long. Unlike the low-profile subs, snorkel subs can almost fully submerge beneath the surface. The only part visible above water is a snorkel tube that allows the vessel to breathe, drawing in air for the diesel engine and fresh oxygen for the crew. One notable difference between snorkel subs and most naval submarines is their construction material. Instead of steel or metal, these vessels are built from fiberglass, a lightweight and relatively easy to work with material. The diesel engine powers the vessel, while an onboard generator supplies electricity for auxiliary systems, including a camera mounted on top of the snorkel. This camera provides the crew with visual information about their surroundings, helping them navigate safely and avoid detection. The snorkel sub is also equipped with ballast tanks that can take in seawater, allowing the vessel to adjust its depth and dive deeper when danger approaches. Inside, the space is cramped, but more functional than earlier models. Basic amenities such as a toilet and a sink are included, which, while modest, offer some relief on long journeys. One of the key advantages of the snorkel sub is its cargo capacity. It can carry up to 8 tons of cocaine and is capable of traveling thousands of kilometers from Colombia to destinations such as Mexico or further. Remarkably, not a single snorkel sub has ever been caught at sea. Instead, those that have been found were discovered on land, suggesting these vessels are very effective at evading maritime patrols. Patrol aircraft face significant challenges detecting snorkel subs, as their low visibility above water and the ability to maneuver stealthily make them elusive targets. The onboard camera systems allow crews to navigate with precision and avoid obstacles or patrol vessels, giving them greater control and agility than simpler designs. The fact that such complex submarines are constructed in remote jungle locations, far from traditional shipyards or supply chains, is a testament to the resourcefulness and technical skill of their builders. These clandestine shipyards operate with limited access to modern tools and materials, yet the submarines they produce are functional and impressive feats of engineering. The builders behind these vessels are often referred to as master builders or artisans. They possess technical proficiency that allows them to develop sophisticated designs using basic materials. Each builder leaves a distinct signature in the way they solve engineering problems, evident in the various design details of the submarines they construct. Among these craftsmen, one builder stands out for producing particularly advanced and effective vessels. The evolution of Narco submarines from simple low-profile vessels to advanced snorkel subs highlights the ongoing innovation in the drug trafficking industry. These developments are driven by a need to overcome law enforcement's improving detection capabilities and to increase the operational range and cargo loads of the submarines. The journey of the CH submarine, with its long Atlantic crossing and eventual sinking near Europe, illustrates both the potential and the risks of these more advanced vessels. Despite the harsh conditions and ultimate failure to complete the mission, this model represents a significant step forward in Narco submarine technology. Similarly, the snorkel subs demonstrate a higher level of sophistication, with features designed to maximize stealth and endurance. Their success in avoiding capture at sea speaks to the challenges law enforcement faces in detecting and intercepting these submarines. Together, these examples show how drug traffickers continually adapt and improve their methods, creating a cycle of innovation and countermeasures. As authorities develop new ways to detect these vessels, traffickers respond with better designs and tactics. The semi-submersible and snorkel subs of today are far removed from the crude vessels of the past. They represent a growing threat to international security and drug enforcement efforts, requiring coordinated responses and advanced technology from law enforcement agencies worldwide. The world of narco submarines has continued to evolve, with the latest designs pushing the boundaries of ingenuity and technology. One of the most remarkable discoveries came in November 2020, when law enforcement agents uncovered a fully submersible narco submarine deep in the Colombian jungle. This vessel, measuring about 12 meters in length, stands out from its predecessors in several ways, marking a significant step forward in the sophistication of drug trafficking methods. Unlike the semi-submersible and snorkel submarines, this new vessel is capable of fully submerging beneath the water's surface. It has a sleek cylindrical shape designed for underwater navigation, and unlike traditional diesel-powered subs, it relies entirely on electric power. The sub carries no fuel tanks or diesel engines. Instead, it houses a massive battery pack weighing approximately 10 tons, which powers 2 electric motors. This design makes the submarine quieter and much harder to detect than those that rely on noisy diesel engines. The batteries provide an endurance of about 12 hours, allowing the submarine to travel at a speed of roughly 5 kilometers per hour. Although this speed is slower than earlier models, it is sufficient for the sub's intended purpose. Its estimated travel range is around 60 kilometers on a single charge. This relatively short range suggests the vessel is not meant for long ocean crossings on its own, but rather to be used in conjunction with larger vessels or supply ships. One key feature of this sub is a towering ring-shaped attachment on its hull. This ring allows the submarine to be tethered to a larger ship and pulled underwater over long distances without detection. When the smugglers reach their intended drop-off point or face the threat of interception, they can simply detach the sub and continue their journey independently. This clever system greatly reduces the risks involved in transporting drugs across vast stretches of water. The discovery of this electric-powered Narco submarine represents a peak in the evolution of Narco sub design. The estimated construction cost of this vessel is around $1.5 million, reflecting its advanced technology and materials. Despite the high cost, the investment is worthwhile for drug trafficking organizations because it significantly improves their chances of evading law enforcement and successfully delivering their cargo. It is important to note that authorities have never caught one of these electric subs in action at sea. This fact strongly implies their effectiveness and ability to avoid detection during operations. The Colombian jungle discovery was the first known example of such a vessel, but experts believe many more are in operation, hidden in remote locations, or currently at sea. The emergence of these highly specialized submarines illustrates how drug traffickers constantly refine their strategies and technologies. As law enforcement improves radar detection, aerial surveillance, and maritime patrols, traffickers respond with smaller, quieter, and more efficient submarines. The trend in narco submarine design has shifted towards smaller, more numerous vessels carrying lighter cargo loads. This shift is a strategic move to optimize supply lines and reduce the risks associated with any single trip. While older models focused on hauling large quantities of drugs in one go, the new generation prioritizes stealth, maneuverability, and the ability to blend into the ocean environment. Almost all narco submarines are built for one-way trips. They are typically scuttled, intentionally sunk, after delivering their cargo to prevent the capture of evidence and the crew. Many of these vessels end up on the ocean floor, creating an underwater graveyard that tells the story of the high-risk nature of this illegal business. In 2022, the reign of Oscar Moreno Ricardo, known as the king of narco submarines, came to an end. After years of eluding authorities, he was finally arrested in a joint operation conducted by Colombian and American law enforcement agencies. His capture marked a significant victory in the fight against maritime drug trafficking. Ricardo was known for overseeing a clandestine shipyard deep in the Colombian jungle, where some of the most advanced narco subs were constructed. Despite this success, the arrest of Ricardo is unlikely to deal a decisive blow to the drug trafficking operations. The narco submarine industry is deeply entrenched, and there is always another skilled builder ready to take his place. Intelligence suggests that a new generation of masterminds is already at work, designing submarines that are even more sophisticated and better equipped to evade the latest detection technologies. The continuous cycle of innovation and countermeasures is a hallmark of the narco submarine industry. Each new design addresses the vulnerabilities exposed by law enforcement, while introducing improvements that make the vessels more effective. This arms race between traffickers and authorities is complex and ongoing, with both sides adapting to the challenges posed by the other. The ingenuity displayed by the builders of narco submarines is remarkable. Operating far from conventional supply chains or modern facilities, these artisans craft vessels using basic materials and limited resources. Yet, the submarines are perfectly suited for their purpose, transporting extremely valuable cargo across thousands of miles of ocean, often through some of the most remote and difficult environments on Earth. What makes the construction of these submarines even more astonishing is the secrecy and security maintained throughout the process. The shipyards are hidden deep in jungles or other inaccessible locations, often protected by armed guards or isolated communities. The builders maintain strict confidentiality, with each one developing their own unique design signatures and techniques, which help them avoid detection and maintain a competitive edge. The design philosophy behind narco submarines centers around producing a minimum viable product. This means the vessels are built to be just good enough to reliably transport their cargo without unnecessary extras that could increase costs or complexity. This approach balances efficiency with stealth and functionality. The increasing sophistication of narco submarines poses serious challenges to law enforcement agencies worldwide. Detecting and intercepting these vessels requires advanced technology, international cooperation, and continuous adaptation to new tactics used by traffickers. Radar, sonar, aerial surveillance, and maritime patrols all play critical roles, but no single method is foolproof. Efforts to combat narco submarine trafficking also involve intelligence sharing between countries, satellite monitoring, and even underwater drones in some cases. Despite these efforts, traffickers have proven remarkably resilient, continually finding ways to outsmart authorities and maintain the flow of drugs into lucrative markets. Looking ahead, it is clear that narco submarine technology will continue to evolve. Future designs may incorporate electric propulsion with longer battery life, improved navigation systems, and even autonomous or semi-autonomous capabilities. The goal for traffickers remains the same: to move illegal drugs with maximum efficiency while avoiding detection and capture. The story of narco submarines is one of human ingenuity applied to a dangerous and illicit enterprise. While the engineering and problem-solving skills behind these vessels are impressive, the purpose they serve has profound social and legal consequences. The fight against maritime drug trafficking is ongoing, and success requires not only technical solutions, but also addressing the broader issues that fuel the global drug trade. The latest generation of narco submarines represents the cutting edge of smuggling technology. From diesel-powered low-profile vessels to fully electric, fully submersible submarines, these craft embody a relentless pursuit of innovation driven by criminal enterprise. Law enforcement agencies face a continuous challenge in detecting and intercepting these submarines, which operate at the intersection of remote geography, sophisticated engineering, and organized crime. Understanding the design, operation, and strategic importance of narco submarines provides valuable insight into the complexities of the global drug trade and the efforts required to combat it effectively. The ongoing evolution of these vessels serves as a reminder that in this high-stakes game, both traffickers and authorities are locked in a constant struggle for control of the seas.